What's up, Mavs fans? Welcome into NBA Now from Chat Sports, and today I want to break down 5 wings that the Mavs could look to add in 2020 free agency based on their defensive potential, because I firmly believe that is the biggest need for the Dallas Mavericks this upcoming summer, is to add a guy who can guard a 3 or even guard some of the smaller 4s in the league. So let's start out with Otto Porter Jr. of the Chicago Bulls, who is set to hit free agency this summer if he declines his $28.5 million player option. Now, I don't expect him to turn that down because I don't think he's going to get that kind of money in the open market. But if he does, the Mavs should definitely be looking at him because his 3-and-D ability is really underrated, and because he was hurt so much this year, we didn't really get to see him shine. Now, another important thing about him is that he's only 26 years old, so if the Mavs can get him healthy, he could be an important building block for the future. Now, again, he only played in 14 games this past season, or I guess this still ongoing season, but he averaged 11.9 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and he shot nearly 40% from 3 in those 14 games. Now, let's say the Mavs do go out and get him. Let's say, first of all, he opts out of that contract. The Mavs go out and sign him for a longer contract, probably nowhere close, hopefully nowhere close to $28 million. All of a sudden, the Mavs got a pretty fun young lineup. Luka Doncic is your point guard. Tim Hardaway Jr. is at the 2. And then I think you just put Otto Porter Jr. there at the 3. He can guard about any small forward in the league if you really need him to. Yeah, he's a little undersized, but his length and his athletic ability really give him a good chance at guarding a lot of the 3s in the league. Dorian Finney-Smith is your 4, and you let Kristaps Porzingis run the 5 for really the entire season. And that's your starting 5 going forward. All those guys are 27 years or younger when you include Tim Hardaway Jr. Otto Porter is the next to get oldest at 26. And then you got Dorian, KP, and Luka. Well, Dorian's a little older as well. But guys, now I want to ask you this because I just told you what our biggest need is. We're going to be breaking down the 5 defensive wings the Mavs should sign this summer. But what do you think the biggest need is? Maybe you don't think it's defense. Maybe you think we need another scorer. Maybe you think we need another shooter. Maybe you think we need a new big man. Whatever it may be, let me know in the comment section below. You guys can respond to this comment while you watch this YouTube ad break. Now let's talk about one of my personal favorites. If you're a longtime watcher here at Chat Sports, if you follow me on Twitter at all_things_Mavs, you already know one of my favorite former Mavericks is Jae Crowder, and he is going to be an unrestricted free agent this summer. No player options, not restricted. He is completely in the open market. Now let's remember, Jae Crowder was traded to the Miami Heat in the middle of this season from the Memphis Grizzlies during that Andre Iguodala trade. His high energy and his defensive presence off the bench have always been valuable. But now, he could become even more valuable to a team like the Mavs, who need a guy to play defense on the wing and to come off the bench and give you some energy. Now this year, as a whole, so both for Memphis and Miami, Jae Crowder has been averaging 10.4 points per game, 2 assists, but the rebounding is exceptional for a guy his size at 6.1 rebounds per game. Now, his 3-point shot leaves a little bit to be desired at 31.8% this year, but I think he's got a good enough shot to where that can go up and up, especially if he's on a team that's giving him open looks like he would be for the Dallas Mavericks. Now, really the main reason I think Jae Crowder makes a lot of sense on this team right off the bat and in this summer is because the small forwards on this roster, the depth isn't really there. Dorian Finney-Smith, exceptional. One of my favorite Mavericks on the team. I think he's an incredible starter. I think he should remain starting at the 3 position or the 4 position, either one. But then you got Justin Jackson, who's probably going to be a free agent this summer. He is going to be a free agent this summer. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is going to be a free agent this summer. And MKG's barely even played with the Mavs. Justin Jackson has really fallen off and taken a turn for the worst this past season. Dorian Finney-Smith's your only true small forward on this team. You're running guys like DeLon Wright, even Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 3. That doesn't make a lot of sense for the Mavs. So you go out and get a guy like Jae Crowder, all of a sudden that small forward depth is really beefed up quite a bit. So let me ask you guys, because this show is all about y'all. Chat Sports is all about the fans. We are the most interactive YouTube channel on the internet. Do you want Jae Crowder back on the Dallas Mavericks? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I am spamming the Y. I am all in on bringing Jae Crowder back to Dallas. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. While you do that, let me tell you about our friends over at Fanatics, which are hooking you up with this sweet deal on a Luka Doncic hoodie. $15 off today when you use our promo code. Use our link, chatsports.com/Luka hoodie. It's really that easy. Chatsports.com/Luka hoodie gets you $15 off this Luka Doncic hoodie from Fanatics. I'm picking myself up one right now. Let's talk about Malik Beasley. This is another wing, but this is more of a shooting guard. Now, we've talked about the small forwards, but let's talk about Malik Beasley, a shooting guard. He will be a restricted free agent this summer, so that means the Minnesota Timberwolves will be able to match any offer that comes his way, which, of course, he did get traded to the Timberwolves from the Denver Nuggets at the deadline during the whole D'Angelo Russell trade and everything else that went down around that organization. The thing about Malik Beasley is that he's super athletic. He's a great defensive player. He's very, very young. But I think he only makes sense for the Mavs if Tim Hardaway Jr. opts out of his contract and decides to leave the Mavs. Then Malik Beasley could be an easy replacement for THJ, even though I want Tim Hardaway Jr. to stay a Dallas Maverick for a long time. This year with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Denver Nuggets, he's been averaging 11.2 points per game, 2.7 rebounds, 1 assist, and shooting, there it is again, a near 40% three-point shooter. So a 3-and-D type guy who can guard more of the twos, less threes, but if he has to get stuck on a three in this league, I think he could do it. He's also one of the best available shooting guards in this free agent market. There's not a lot of them. I think your best one is Bogdan Bogdanovic, a guy who I would absolutely love on the Dallas Mavericks, but he is a restricted free agent. DeMar DeRozan of the San Antonio Spurs, who I'm currently out on. I just don't really see a fit here. Evan Fournier of the Orlando Magic makes a lot of sense for the Mavs. Joe Harris. But the thing about Fournier and Joe Harris and Bogdan Bogdanovic is that none of them play defense as well as Malik Beasley does. So I think Malik Beasley could be a guy to watch out for the Mavs this summer. Now, guys, before I get into my next player, I want to remind you to subscribe here to Chat Sports, youtube.com/ChatSportsTV. We're trying to get our subscriber count up to 175,000. We're sitting at about 165,000. I think we can get that number up in no time. So just hit the big red button. You're already watching our video here on YouTube. Just scroll down, subscribe here on Chat Sports for more NBA, Dallas Mavericks, and all the sports coverage you need all season long. Now let's talk about Mo Harkless. This is a guy who, and again, these guys that we're talking about today are not max contract players. They're not the big fish that you want to go chase. But the Mavs don't have the money for a big fish this summer. And the only big fish really this summer out there is Anthony Davis, who I don't expect the Mavs to be trying that hard for. But Mo Harkless is a guy who could make a lot of sense. He is entering unrestricted free agency this summer. Dallas was interested when he was in that kind of buyout range, when everyone thought, hey, maybe the Knicks will buy him out. But he didn't get bought out. He's stuck with the Knicks for the rest of the season. Now, the good thing about Mo Harkless is that he can defend both forward positions. So, we just looked at Malik Beasley, who's kind of limited to that shooting guard position. Mo Harkless can guard the threes or the fours and maybe some twos if you really need him to. Now, this year his numbers haven't been that impressive, but again, these are guys that we're looking at for their defensive ability. 5.8 points per game, 3.9 rebounds per game, just 1 assist, shooting 35% from three. So again, not incredible numbers, but he's been a consistent guy everywhere that he has been in his career. He's been on 4 different teams at this point. The Orlando Magic from 2012 to 2015, he was averaging 6.8 points per game and 3.5 boards. Then he went to the Portland Trail Blazers, where I really loved watching him. I think he was a great fit in Portland, averaging 7.7 points per game and 3.8 boards. Then he played for the Clippers for half of this year. It didn't go that well because they didn't really need him to play that much with Kawhi and PG there. 5.5 points per game and 4 boards, a good rebounding number there for an undersized forward. And then he goes to the Knicks. His scoring goes up a little bit from the Clippers, 6.8 points per game. Rebounding goes down because, let's face it, the Knicks have every power forward in the NBA on their roster right now. They don't need a whole lot of rebounding. But Mo Harkless makes a lot of sense on this Dallas Maverick team. You can play him at the 3. You can play him at the 4. You can bring him off the bench, whatever you want, and he's going to score for you, and he's going to defend multiple positions. I like the idea of bringing Mo Harkless on for a cheap contract. Now, here's a big question. We talked about it. These aren't the big fish guys of the summer, but who would be your ideal pickup in 2020 free agency? Let me know in the comment section below. For me, I'm kind of all in on Bogdan Bogdanovic. I don't know how realistic it is, but I think we do have a shot at getting him if the Kings don't match his contract offer. But let me know. Maybe you guys have another name in mind that you want to throw down below. Now, before I get to my last guy today, I want to remind you to go check out Fanatics. When you go to chatsports.com/Luka hoodie, that gets you $15 off this Luka Doncic hoodie. It's that simple. chatsports.com/Luka hoodie. $15 off right away. Thanks to Chat Sports and thanks to Fanatics for hooking you guys up with that deal. Now let's talk about Justin Holiday, another guy who's kind of underrated, under the radar type target the Mavs could look at. He's entering unrestricted free agency this year, and the thing about him is he can defend 2 guards and 3s. He's kind of limited. He can't get down to that power forward position, but These are wings. You want him defending wings? He can do that. He's become a great three-point shooter this season with the Indiana Pacers. He signed that one-year deal just to kind of prove himself, and he has proven himself so far. 8.4 points per game, 3.2 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and there it is, the improved three-point shooting, 42.4%. This, of course, the third Holiday brother in the NBA, along with Aaron and Drew Holiday, which brings me to my next point. You know who's a free agent in 2021? That's right, it's Drew Holiday of the New Orleans Pelicans. So let's say the Mavs say, hey, Justin, come get a contract, come play with us for a little bit, and then we're going to recruit your brother in 2021. He'll be an unrestricted free agent in that loaded free agent class. Now, he will be 32 years old this next summer, so it doesn't really fit the Mavs' timeline, but it doesn't matter because he's a top-tier defender, and he's a top-tier target for the Dallas Mavericks in 2021. This year, Drew is averaging 19.6 points per game, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, shooting 36% from 3, all doing it with the New Orleans Pelicans. But if the Mavs go out and get Justin Holiday, maybe Justin Holiday's texting his brother, whispering in his ear like, hey, come play in Dallas. Let's play together. What do you say, buddy? So I'm excited about the potential guys that the Mavs could add in 2020. But the thing I'm most excited about is to finally get basketball back. I've been watching reruns on NBA TV. I miss basketball so much. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at like a 15. But let me know where you guys are. You got to the end of the video, so how much do you miss basketball? 1 to 10. Thanks for watching, Mavs fans, and I'll see you next time.